You see the red line around my face from when I was taking my government approved walk. Anyways, today I want to discuss diet. I'm sort of a big guy. At the beginning of the year I was like 270 pounds and I lost a decent amount of weight, about 25 pounds. I chose the keto diet, which, as you know, is low in carbs and high in protein and fats and things like that. The issue is now that we're in quarantine and I'm not seeing any more income coming in, of course, like a lot of people, I got survival stuff. So I went out and I got like Top Ramen and pasta and things you could buy a lot of that that is cheap and you don't need a refrigerator to store. So these are some of the things I got. You know, like stupid cookies, Top Ramen, you know, these packets of oatmeal, things like that. So it's a lot of carbohydrates and I feel I spend a decent amount of time sort of losing this weight, and I don't want to put it all back on because of this quarantine. So I gave the ice chest in my last video a test run, and I can store ice in it for up to 3 days. Now that's if I keep the lid closed and I keep it out of direct sunlight, so I've been putting a blanket over it, things like that. So if I can keep it in a good condition, I could get about 3 days of ice. And I have access to ice at the dollar store, so I would only have to spend about $2 to $3 a week on ice. And then what I wanted to do is I was looking at ways to kind of do the keto diet cheaply and still have a variety of food. The obvious ones is I could still have access to canned tuna and canned salmon and canned sardines and things like that. So the fish you could definitely do. They even have canned chicken, but that's been sold out a lot recently and I really don't like it. I'm gonna definitely try to add some other things that are cheap but good. Things like hot dogs and lunch meat and that sort of stuff. So I may get like a thing of sharp cheddar, a packet of lunch meat, and then when I'm hungry, just have a little bit of that. The other thing is, though, that I think is important with this is rations. Normally, during the time I was losing the weight, I was eating about like a 12-ounce steak, which I don't need. If I do, with some vegetables, if I do a 4 or 6 ounce steak, you know, I'm not gonna starve to death. You know, I may feel a little bit hungry or not full, but I'm still gonna have energy and I'm not gonna starve. People live in this world on a lot less. I mean, I'm still very thankful for being in America. You know, if things get really bad, I have access to food banks and stuff like that. I realized, I was like, you know, I don't wanna eat carbohydrates for 3 meals a day. So what I think I'm gonna do is have 2 meals be keto, and then 1 meal will be carbohydrates. And I'm mainly choosing that because I don't wanna waste food. So all the food that I don't wanna just go ahead and throw out. So my lunch will be like a Top Ramen, and then my breakfast I'll maybe try to have like some sausages. I could usually get sausage for pretty cheap. And then dinner, maybe 3 or 4 hot dogs or something like that. So that's my goal on sort of keeping the price down and still being able to do the keto diet, and everything will have to be in the cooler. One of the issues I'm not looking forward to is I may have to go to the grocery store a lot more because obviously I can't stack up on meat. Which I have been into a couple of the grocery stores, and some of them aren't all that bad. I have a mask, I can still social distance. They're only allowing a certain amount of people in at a time, so I can still kind of be in a safe area, 6 feet apart from everyone, and just be able to get in and get out and know what I need. And hopefully the shelves are starting to fill back up again, so I think a lot of the panic buying is starting to die down. I'm at the harbor right now, just by the beach, and I think with all this time we have on our hands, other than sitting around doing nothing, I want to be able to use it to continue to lose weight. It would suck to do this whole quarantine thing and then end up, you know, putting back on 25, 30 pounds. I was like, because I could feel myself putting the weight back on. I was like, I don't want to do that, even though I don't have a ton of money to just eat really nice keto meals and Atkins TV dinners and meals and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna try a different approach and just eat sort of cheap fats and meats and go from there. I went ahead and got some eggs, some ice in there. It's starting to melt a bit. Now, eggs don't have to be in ice. They can actually go quite a few days, almost even a week without needing to be iced. I think in Europe they actually sell them like not refrigerated yet. But anyways, I am going to keep them on ice. I put them in this plastic bag. And I did the 6-carton thing, and I'm going to keep these cartons. But if I buy a 12-pack, I'm just going to take out a 12-pack and put in these because it makes it a little bit more compact. Here goes some, essentially hot dogs, some cheese, and then some half and half of my coffee. So I filmed part of the video yesterday. I managed this morning to find some sausage, actually late last night. So I'm going to try to cook 4 of these. I have a small cast iron pan. This is the size of my hand. And then 2 eggs. So 4 sausage, 2 eggs. Sounds like a good breakfast. Let's get started. So it's been about 5 minutes and they're a beautiful golden brown. I have the heat on low to avoid splattering. Alright, these bad boys are pretty much done. Because this is such a small pot, I'm going to try to get it right on top. That didn't work. I'm going to help it cook a little bit better. I'm going to cover it. Alright, so these have been cooking for a few minutes. Let's go and see. Oh yeah, perfect. And don't forget that brown is just the grease from the sausage. And that right there is my quarantine breakfast. You just get this bad boy out and we're good to go.